الله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على قدم المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأجمعين. Let us all turn our Qur'ans to page 1365, the introduction to Surah Aqaf. It's commentary 219. It is Surah 46, Surah 46, Ayat 1. Creation is for just ends, and falsehood is but straying from the path. Say what people may. Truth carries its own vindication. Follow it firmly. Let age think of youth, and youth not turn rebellious. There are fine gradations in the kingdom of Allah. Then strive for the best. Let not pride and arrogance undo you. The humble are often the best recipients of the truth. All will come right in good time. So persevere with patient firmness of purpose. Just as there seems to tarry, comes really on swiftest foot, but sure. Ahqaf, or the winding sand tracks. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Ha-Mim. The revelation of the book is from Allah, the exalted and powerful of wisdom. We created not the heavens and the earth and all between them, but for just ends and for a term appointed. But those who reject faith turn away from that whereof they are warned. Say, do you see? What is it ye invoke besides Allah? Show me what it is they have created on earth, or have they a share in the heavens? Bring me a book revealed before this, or any remnant of knowledge you may have if you're telling the truth. And who is more astray than one who invokes besides Allah such as will not answer him to the day of judgment, and who in fact are unconscious of their call to him? And when mankind are gathered together at the resurrection, they will be hostile to them and reject their worship altogether. When our clear signs are rehearsed to them, the unbelievers say of the truth, when it comes to them, this is evident sorcery. Or do they say, he's forged it? Say, had I forged it, then can ye obtain no single blessing for me from Allah. He knows best of that whereof ye talk so glibly. Enough is he for a witness between me and you, and he is oft forgiving, most merciful. Say, I am no bringer of a newfangled doctrine among the apostles, nor do I know what will be done with me or with you. I follow but that which is revealed to me by inspiration, and I am but a warner open and clear. Say, see ye, if this teaching be from Allah and you reject it, and a witness from among the children of Israel testified to its similarity with earlier scriptures, and has believed while ye are arrogant, how unjust ye are. Truly, Allah guides not a people unjust. The unbelievers say of those who believe, if this message were a good thing, such men would not have gone to it first before us. And seeing that they guide not themselves thereby, they will. This is an old falsehood. And before this was the book of Moses as a guide and a mercy. And this book confirms it in the audible tongue to admonish the unjust and as glad tidings to those who do right. Verily those who say our Lord is Allah and remain firm on that path, on them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. Such shall be companions of the garden, dwelling therein forever, a recompense for their good deeds. Now we have enjoined on man kindness to his parents. In pain did his mother bear him, and in pain did she give him birth. The carrying of the child to his weaning is a period of 30 months. At length, when he reaches the age of full strength and attains 40 years, he said, O my Lord, grant me that I may be grateful for thy favor which thou hast bestowed upon me, and upon both my parents, and that I may work righteousness, such as thou mayest approve. And be gracious to me in my issue. Truly, have I turned to thee, and truly do I bow to thee in Islam. Such are they from whom we shall accept the best of their deeds, and pass by their ill deeds. They shall be among the companions of the garden, a promise of truth, which was made to them in this life. But there is one who says to his parents, fie on you. Do you hold out the promise to me that I shall be raised up, even though generations have passed before me without rising again? And they too seek Allah's aid and rebuke the Son. Woe to thee, have faith, for the promise of Allah is true. But he says, this is nothing but tales of the ancient. Such are they against whom is proved the sentence among the previous generation of jinns and men that have passed away, for they will be utterly lost. And to all are assigned degrees according to the deeds which they have done, and in order that Allah may recompense their deeds, and no injustice be done to them. And on the day that the unbelievers will be placed before the fire, will be said to them, "You received your good things in the life of this world, and you took your pleasure out of them. But today shall you be recompensed with a penalty of humiliation, for that ye were arrogant on earth without just cause, and that ye ever transgressed." Mention Hood, one of Od's own brethren, about the winding sand tracks. Behold, he warned his people, but there have been warners before him and after him. Worship ye none other than Allah. Truly, I fear for you the penalty of a mighty day. They said, "Hast thou come in order to turn us aside from our gods? Then bring upon us the calamity which thou dost threaten us, if thou art telling the truth." He said, "The knowledge of when it will come is only with Allah. I proclaim to you the mission on which I have been sent, but I see that ye are people in ignorance." Then when they saw the penalty in the shape of a cloud traversing the sky, coming to meet their valley, they said, "This cloud will give us rain." Nay, it is the calamity ye were asking to be hastened, a wind wherein is a grievous penalty. Everything will it destroy by the hand of his Lord. Nothing was to be seen but the ruins of their houses. Thus do we recompense those given to sin. And we have firmly established them in prosperity and power, which they have not given to you, O ye creation. And we have endowed them with faculties of hearing, seeing, heart, and intellect. But of no profit to them were their faculties of hearing, sight, and intellect, when they went on rejecting the signs of Allah. And they were completely encircled by that which they used to mock at. And we destroyed aforetime populations about you, and we have shown the signs in various ways, that they may turn to us. Why then was no help forthcoming to them from those whom they worshipped as gods besides Allah, as a means of access to Allah? Nay, they left them in the lurch. But that was their falsehood and their invention. Behold, we turned towards thee, a company of jinns quietly listening to the Quran. When they stood in the presence thereof, they said, "Listen in silence." When the reading was finished, they returned to the people to warn them of their sins. They said, our people, we have heard a book revealed after Moses, confirming what came before it. It guides men to the truth, to a straight path. O our people, hearken to the one who invites you to Allah, and believe in him. He will forgive you your faults, and deliver you from a penalty grievous. If any does not hearken to the one who invites us to Allah, he cannot frustrate Allah's plan on earth, and no protector can he have besides Allah. Such men wander in manifest error. See they not that Allah, who created the heavens and the earth, and never wearied with their creation, is able to give life to the dead? Yes, verily, he has power over all things. And on the day that the unbelievers will be placed before the fire, they will be asked, "Is this not the truth?" They will say, "Yea, by our Lord." One will say, "Then taste ye the penalty, for that you will want to deny truth. Therefore patiently persevere, as did all apostles of inflexible purpose, and be in no haste about the unbelievers. On the day that they see the punishment promised them, it will be as if they had not tarried more than an hour in a single day, dying but to proclaim the message. But shall any be destroyed except those who transgress?" Introduction to Surah Muhammad, commentary 2.0. No plots against truth or faith will succeed, but those who follow both will be strengthened. Be firm in fight, and Allah will guide. Rebellion against Allah is destruction. Fidelity will cool the mind and feed the heart. It will warm the affections and sweet life. Hypocrisy carries its own doom. Muhammad the Prophet. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Those who reject Allah and hinder men from the path of Allah, their deeds will Allah wander astray from their mark. For those who believe in work deeds of righteousness and believe in the revelation sent down to Muhammad, for it is the truth from their Lord, he will remove from them the ills and improve their condition. This because those who reject Allah follow vanities, while those who believe follow the truth from their Lord. Thus does Allah set forth for men their lessons by similitudes. Therefore, when you meet the unbelievers and fight, smite at their necks. At length, when you have thoroughly subdued them, bind a bond firmly on them. Thereafter is the time for either generosity or ransom until the war lays down his burdens. Thus are you commanded. But if it had been Allah's will, he could certainly have exacted retribution from himself. But he lets you fight in order to test you. Some with others, but those who are slain in the way of Allah, he will never let their deeds be lost. Soon will he guide them and improve their conditions, and admit them to the garden which he has announced for them. O you who believe, if ye will aid the cause of Allah, he will aid you and plant your feet firmly. But those who reject Allah, for them is destruction, and Allah will render their deeds astray from their mark. That's because they hate the revelation of Allah. So he has made their deeds fruitless. And then I travel through the earth and see what was the end of those before them who did evil. Allah brought utter destruction on them, and similar fates await those who reject Allah. That is because Allah is the protector of those who believe. But those who reject Allah have no protector. Verily, Allah will admit those who believe and do righteous deeds to gardens with rivers flowing, while those who reject Allah will enjoy this world and eat as cattle eat, and the fire will be their abode. And how many cities with more power than thy city, which has driven thee out, that we destroyed for their sins? And there was none to aid them. Is there one who is on a clear path from his Lord, no better than one to whom the evil of his conduct seemed pleasing, and such as follow their own lust? Now here's a parable of the garden which the righteous are promised. In it are rivers of water incorruptible, rivers of milk of which the taste never changes, rivers of wine, a joy to those who drink, and rivers of honey pure and clear. In it there are for them all kinds of fruits, and grace from their Lord. Can those in such bliss be compared to such as shall dwell forever in the fire, and be given to drink boiling water, so that it cuts up their bowels to pieces? And among them are men who listen to thee, but in the end, when they go out from thee, they say to those who have received knowledge, what is it he said just then? What is it he said just then? Such are men whose hearts Allah has sealed, and who follow their own lusts. But to those who receive guidance, he increases the light of guidance, and bestows on them their piety and restraint from evil. Do they then only wait for the hour that it should come to them of a sudden? But already have come some tokens thereof, and when it actually is on them, how can they benefit them by their admonition? Know, therefore, that there is no God but Allah, and ask forgiveness for thy faults, and for the men and women who believe. For Allah knows how you move about it and how you dwell in your homes. Commentary 221. Those eager for service want the call for service, but the hypocrites blench at such call. If it were not obeyed and evil should get the upper hand, would it not stalk arrogance over the land, trample underfoot all claims of right and kinship? Fight it, and fail not in the test of your metal. Be bold and establish the flag of righteousness in the highest places. Thus comes peace, for which due sacrifice must be made. Those who believe say, why is not a surah sit down for us? But when a surah of basic or categorical meaning is revealed and fighting is mentioned to them, thou wilt see those in whose hearts is a disease looking at thee with a look of one in swoon in the approach of death. But more fitting for them were it to obey and say what it is just. And when a matter is resolved on, it were best for them if they were true to Allah. Then is it to be expected of you, if ye will do no mischief in the land and break your ties of kith and kin? Such are the men whom Allah has cursed, for he has made them deaf and blind in their sights. Do they not then earnestly seek to understand the Quran? Or are their hearts locked up by them? Those who turn back as apostates after guidance was clearly shown to them, evil one has instigated them and buoyed them up with false hopes. This because they said to those who hate what Allah has revealed, we will obey you in part of this matter, but Allah knows their inner secrets. But how will it be when the angels take their souls at death and smite their faces and their backs? This is because they followed that which called forth the wrath of Allah, and they hated Allah's good pleasure. So he made their deeds of no effect. Or do those in whose hearts is a disease think that Allah will not bring to light all their rancor? Had we so willed, we could have shown them up to thee, and thou should have known them by their marks. But surely thou wilt know them by the tone of their speech, and Allah knows all that you do. And we shall try you until we test those among you who strive their utmost and persevere in patience. And we shall try your reported matter. Those who reject Allah, hinder men from the path of Allah, and resist the apostle after guidance has been clearly shown to them, will not injure Allah in the least, but He will make their deeds of no effect. O you who believe, obey Allah, and obey the apostles, and make not vain your deeds. Those who reject Allah and hinder men from the path of Allah, then die in rejecting Allah, Allah will not forgive them. Be not weary and faint-hearted crying for peace, when ye should be uppermost, for Allah is with you, and will never put you in loss for your good deeds. The life of this world is but play and amusement, and if you believe and guard against evil, He will grant you recompense, and will not ask you to give up your possessions. If He were to ask you for all of them and press you, you would covetously withhold, and He would bring out all your ill feelings. Behold, ye are those invited to spend of your substance in the way of Allah. But most among you are some that are niggardly. But any who are niggardly are so at the expense of their own souls. But Allah is free of all wants, and it is ye that are needy. If you turn back from the path, He will substitute you in your stead another people. Then they will not be like you. Introduction to Surah Salat, or the victory. Commentary 222. Victory and health, both calmness of mind, faith, fidelity, zeal, and earnestness, not with greed, lukewarmness, or timidity. Discipline and obedience are essential for service. The rewards for service are not to be measured by immediate results, but accrue in countless hidden ways for patience and restraint. Be strong against evil, but kind and gentle amongst yourselves. The seed will grow and become strong to your wonder and delight. Fact or the victory. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Verily, we have granted thee a manifest victory, that Allah may forgive thee thy fault of the past and those to follow, fulfill His favor to thee, and guide thee on the straight way, and that Allah may help thee with powerful help. It is He who sent down tranquility into the hearts of the believers, that they may have faith to their faith. For to Allah belong the forces of the heavens and the earth, and Allah is full of knowledge and wisdom. That He may admit the men and women who believe to gardens beneath the river's flow, to dwell therein for aid, and remove their ills from them, and that is in the sight of Allah the highest achievement for men. And that He may punish the hypocrites, men and women, and the polytheists, men and women, who imagine an evil opinion of Allah. On them is a round of evil. The wrath of Allah is on them. He has cursed them and got hell ready for them. And evil is it for a destination. For to Allah belong the forces of the heavens and the earth, and Allah is exalted in power full of wisdom. We have truly sent thee as a witness, as a bringer of glad tidings, and as a warner, in order that ye may, O men, may believe in Allah and His apostle, that ye may assist and honor Him, and celebrate His praises morning and evening. Verily, those who plight their fealty to thee, do no less than plight their fealty to Allah. The hand of Allah is over their hands. That anyone who violates His oath does so to the harm of his own soul. And anyone who fulfills what he has covenanted with Allah, Allah will soon grant him a great reward. The desert Arabs who lagged behind will say to thee, we were engaged in looking after our flocks and herds and our families. Without them to ask forgiveness for us, they say with their tongues what is not in their hearts. Say, who then has any power at all to intervene on your behalf with Allah, if His will is to give you some loss or to give you some profit? But Allah is well acquainted with all that you do. Nay, you thought that the apostles and the believers would never return to their families. This seemed pleasing in your hearts, and you conceived an evil thought, for ye are a people lost in wickedness. And if any believe not in Allah and His apostle, we have prepared for those who reject Allah a blazing fire. To Allah belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth. He forgives whom He wills, and He punishes whom He wills. But Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. Those who lag behind will say, when you are free to march and take booty in war, permit us to follow you. They wish to change Allah's decree, saying, not thus will you follow us. Allah has already declared this beforehand. And they will say, but ye are jealous of us. Nay, but little do they understand such things. Say to the desert Arabs who lag behind, ye shall be summoned to fight against a people given to him in war. Then shall ye fight, or they shall submit. Then if ye show obedience, Allah will grant you a good reward. but you turn back as ye did before, he will punish you with a grievous penalty. No blame is there on the blind, nor is there blame on the lame, nor on the ill, if he joins not war. But he that obeys Allah is apostle. Allah will admit him to God's belief with rivers flow. And he who turns back, Allah will punish him with a grievous penalty. Allah's good pleasure was on the believers when they swore fealty to thee under the tree. He knew what was in their hearts, and he sent down tranquility to them, and he rewarded them with a speedy victory. And many gains will they acquire besides, and Allah is exalted in power, full of wisdom. Allah has promised you many gains that ye shall acquire, and he has given you these beforehand, and he has restrained the hands of men from you, that it may be a sign for you, for the believers, and that he may guide you to a straight path. And other gains there are which are not within your power, but which Allah has compassed, and Allah has power over all things. If the unbelievers should fight you, they would certainly turn their backs. Then would they find neither protector nor helper. Such has been the practice approved of Allah already in the past. No change will thou find in the practice approved of Allah. And it is he who has restrained their hands from you, and your hands from them in the midst of Mecca. After that, he gave you the victory over them. And Allah sees well all that you do. They are the ones who denied revelation and hindered you from the sacred mosque and the sacrificial animals, detained from their reaching their place of sacrifice. Had there not been believing men and believing women whom you did not know that ye were trampling down and on whose account a crime would have occurred to you without your knowledge, Allah would have allowed you to force your way. But he held back your hands, that he may admit to his mercy whom he will. If they had been apart, we should certainly have punished the unbelievers among them with a grievous punishment. While the unbelievers got up in their hearts, the heat and cant of ignorance, Allah sent down his tranquility to his apostle and to the believers, and made them stick close to the command of self-restraint. And well were they entitled to it and worthy of it. And Allah has full knowledge of all things. Truly did Allah fulfill the vision for his apostle. Ye shall enter the sacred mosque if Allah wills, with mind secure, head shaved, hair cut short, and without fear. For he knew what ye knew not, and he granted besides this a speedy victory. It is he who has sent his apostle with guidance in the religion of truth to proclaim it over all religions, and enough is Allah for a witness. Muhammad is the apostle of Allah, and those who are with him are strong against unbelievers, but compassionate amongst each other. Thou would see them bow and prostrate themselves in prayer, seeking grace from Allah and his good pleasure. On their faces are their marks, being the traces of their prostration. This is their similitude in the Torah, and their similitude in the gospel is like a seed which sends forth its blade, then makes it strong. It then becomes thick, and it stands on its own stem, filling the sowers with wonders and delight. And as a result, it fills the unbelievers with rage at him. Allah has promised those among them who believe and do righteous deeds forgiveness and a great reward. Commentary 223. Respectful behavior to the leader in manner, voice, and demeanor are the bonds and semen of an organized community. The whispers of rumors should be tested. Selfish impatience should be curbed to discipline. All quarrels should be composed, if necessary, by the force of the community, but with perfect fairness and justice. Ridicule, taunts, and biting words should be avoided in the presence or in absence. Suspicion and spying are unworthy of men who believe. All men are descended from one pair. Their honor depends not on race, but on righteousness. Faith is not a matter of words, but of accepting Allah's will and striving in his cause. The coming into Islam confers no favor on others, but is itself a favor and a privilege, a guidance for those who are true and sincere. Hujurat, or the inner apartment. O ye who believe, put not yourselves forward before Allah and his apostle, but fear Allah, for Allah is he who hears and knows all things. O ye who believe, raise not your voices above the voice of the prophet, nor speak aloud to him and talk as ye may speak aloud to one another, lest your deeds become vain and ye perceive not. Those that lower their voices in the presence of Allah's apostle, their hearts has Allah tested for piety. For them is forgiveness and a great reward. Those who shout out to thee from without the inner apartment, most of them lack understanding. If only they had patience that the thou couldst come out to them, it would be best for them. But Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. O ye who believe, if a wicked person comes to you with any news, ascertain the truth, lest ye harm people unwillingly and afterward become full of repentance for what you've done. And know that among you is Allah's apostle. Were he in any matters to follow your wishes, you would certainly fall into misfortune. But Allah has endured the faith to you, and has made it beautiful in your hearts. And he has made hateful to you unbelief, wickedness, and rebellion. Such indeed are those who walk in righteousness. A grace and favor from Allah, and Allah's full knowledge and wisdom. If two parties among the believers fall into a quarrel, they keep peace between them. But if one of them transgresses beyond bounds against the other, then fight ye all against the one that transgresses until it complies with the commandment of Allah. But if it complies, then make peace between them with justice and be fair. For Allah loves those who are fair and just. The believers are but a single brotherhood. So make peace and reconciliation between the two contending brothers, and fear Allah, that ye may receive mercy. O ye who believe, let not some men among you laugh at others. It may be that the latter are better than the former. Nor let some women laugh at others. It may be that the latter are better than the former. Nor defame, nor be sarcastic to each other. Nor call each other by offensive nicknames. Ill seeming is a name denoting wickedness to the use of one, after he is believed. And those who do not desist are indeed doing wrong. O you who believe, avoid suspicion as much as possible. For suspicion is in some cases a sin. And spy not on each other, nor speak ill of each other behind their backs. Would any of you like to eat the flesh of his dead brother? Nay, ye would avoid it. But fear Allah, for Allah is oft returning and most merciful. O mankind, we have created you from a single pair of male and female, and made you into nations and tribes that you may know each other, not that you may despise each other. Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is he who is the most righteous of you. And Allah has full knowledge and is well acquainted with all things. And as the Arabs say, we believe, say, you have no faith, but you only say, we have submitted our wills to Allah, for not yet has faith entered your hearts. But if you obey Allah's apostle, he will not belittle all of your deeds, for Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. Only those are believers who have believed in Allah and his apostle, and have never since doubted, but have striven with their belongings in the person of the cause of Allah. Such are the sincere ones. Say, what will ye instruct Allah about your religion? For Allah knows all that is in the heavens and on earth. He has full knowledge of all things. Now they impress on thee as a favor that they've embraced Islam. Say, come not to Islam as a favor upon me. Nay, Allah has conferred a favor upon you, that he has guided you to the faith, if you be true and sincere. Verily, Allah knows the secrets in heavens and of the earth, and Allah sees well all that you do. Commentary 224. This surah, brothers and sisters, is a surah that we all should reread over and over again when we have differences or quarrels with one another. This surah helps us to understand that if we believe in La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, then we're one unit, we're one people. So inshallah, we have to be humble, we have to be patient, we have to do all of those things, especially in the light of Ramadan. In the light of Ramadan, Allah is sending blessings and blessings upon us. And it makes my heart cry when people don't get along with one another in this blessed month. Read this surah carefully, over and over. Look at the footnotes of it, and you will get basic understandings of what you should and should not do, especially when it comes between a brother and a brother, or a sister and a sister, inshallah. Commentary 224. the apostles' credentials or the revelation he brings. Let them not wonder at the message or at the news of the hereafter. They have but to look at the starry heavens and the nature around them to see Allah's goodness and His power to bring life out of the dead and to punish all wrong. Every deed, word, and thought are in the eternal record. Death will open your eyes and make you see realities. Then will every action bear its due fruit, and no soul can shift its responsibility on to another. Qaf. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Qaf. By the glorious Quran, thou art Allah's apostle. But they wondered that there has come to them a warner from among themselves. So the unbelievers said, this is a wonderful thing. What, when we die and become dust, shall we live again? That is a sort of return far from our understanding. We already know how much of them the earth takes away. With us is a record guarding the full account. But they deny the truth when it comes to them. So they are in a confused state. Do they not look at the sky above them, how we have made it and adorned it? And there are no flaws in it. And the earth, we have spread it out and set their own mountains standing firm and produced therein every kind of beautiful growth in pairs to be observed and commemorated by every devotee turning to Allah. And we send down from the sky rain charged with blessings, and we produce there with gardens and grain for harvest, and tall and stately palm trees and shoots of fruit stalks piled one over another as sustenance for Allah's servants. And we give new life there with the land that is dead. Thus will be the resurrection. Before them was denied the hereafter by the people of Noah, the companions of the Ras, the Thamud, the Ad, Pharaoh, the brethren of Lut, the companions of the wood, and the people of Tulah. Each one of them rejected the apostles, and my warning was duly fulfilled in them. Were we then weary with the first creation, that they should be in confused doubt about a new creation? It was we who created man, and we know what dark suggestions his soul makes to him. For we are nearer to him than his jugular vein. Behold, two guardian angels appointed to learn his doings, learn and note them, one sitting on the right and one on the left. Not a word does he utter, but there's a sentinel by him ready to know it. And the stupor of death will bring truth before his eyes. This was the thing which thou was trying to escape. And the trumpet shall be blown. That will be the day of a warning that had been given. And there will come forth every soul, with each will be an angel to drive and an angel to bear witness. It will be said, thou wast heedless of this. Now have we removed the veil, and sharpened thy sight this day. And his companion will say, here is his record ready with me. The sentence will be, throw into hell every contumacious rejecter of Allah, who forbade what was good, transgressed all bounds, cast doubts and suspicions, who set up another God besides Allah. Throw him into a severe penalty. And his companion would say, oh Lord, I did not make him a transgress, but he was himself far astray. He would say, dispute not with each other in my presence. I had already in advance sent you warning. The word changes not before me, and I do not release injustice to my servants. Commentary 225. As goodness has possibilities unlimited, so has evil in the opposite direction. To those who bring a heart unsullied and to God Allah devoted will be peace, security, and eternal life, the rays from Allah's own presence. Adore ye Allah and pay no heed to whispers of doubt and evil. These must vanish at judgment, when truth and justice reign supreme. One day, we will ask hell, art thou filled to the full? It will say, are there any more to come? And the garden will be brought nigh to the righteous, no more thin distance. A voice will say, this is what was promised for you. For everyone who turned to Allah in sincere repentance, who kept his law, who feared Allah most gracious unseen, and brought a heart turned in devotion to him. Enter ye therein in peace and security. This is a day of eternal life. There will be for them therein all that they wish, and more besides in our presence. But how many generations before them will be destroyed for their sins, stronger in power than they? Then did they wander through the land? Was there any place of escape for them? Verily this is a message for any that has a heart and understanding, or who gives ear and earnestly witness the truth. We created the heavens and the earth and all between them in 6 days, nor did any sense of weariness touch us. Bear then with patience all that they say, and celebrate the praises of thy Lord before the rising of the sun and before its setting. And during part of the night also celebrate his praises, and so likewise after the postures of adoration. And listen for the day when the caller will call out from a place quite near, the day when they will hear a mighty blast in very truth. That will be the day of resurrection. Verily, it is we who give life and death, and to us is the final goal. The day when the earth will be rent asunder from men hurrying out. That will be a gathering together quite easy for us. We know best what they say, and thou art not one to ever awe them by force. So admonish with the Quran, such as fear my warning. Zodiac Commentary 226. Various other ways of working we see in Allah's world, strong and gentle, scattering and uniting through its all runs of purpose, true and stable, which we shall see fulfilled on the day of judgment and justice, which must inevitably come to pass. Give up false doctrines, which agree not among themselves or with facts. For evil must end in evil, and good in joy and felicity. The good worship Allah and serve Allah's creatures. Those needing help are ever in their thoughts. They see signs of Allah in all things in heaven and earth, and in their own hearts and minds. Zariyat, or the winds that scatter. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. By the winds that scatter broadcast, and those that lift and bear away heavy weights, and those that flow with ease and gentleness, and those that distribute in a portion by command. Verily that which ye are promised is true, and verily judgment and justice must indeed come to pass. By the sky with its numerous paths, truly ye are in a doctrine discordant, through which are deluded away for the truth such as would be deluded. Woe to the falsehood mongers, those who flounder heedless in a flood of confusion. They ask, when will it be the day of judgment and justice? It will be a day when they will be tried and tested over the fire. Say she your trial. This is what you used to ask to be hasted. And as to the righteous, they will be in the midst of gardens and springs, taking joy in the things which their Lord gives them, because before then they lived a good life. They were in the habit of sleeping a little by night. And in the hours of early dawn they were found praying for forgiveness. And in their wealth and possessions remember the right of the needy, him who asks and him who, for some reason, prevented from asking. On the earth are signs for those of assured faith, as also in your own selves, you not then see. And in heaven is your sustenance, as also that which you are promised. Then by the Lord of heaven and earth, this is the very truth, as much as the fact that you can speak intelligently to each other. Commentary 2.7. Even Ibrahim the true had need to be told before he could realize the purpose of Allah. Clear signs were sent for warning as of old to Pharaoh, the Ad, and Thamud, the people of Noah, and the warnings inevitably came to pass. Our signs are for your instructions. Heed them and learn by them. Those who believe find profit in their lives. Those who reject or deny, alas, they learn not from the past. Woe unto them. The loss is their own. Has the story reached thee of the honored guests of Ibrahim? Behold, they entered his presence and said, peace. He said, peace, and thought, these seem unusual people. Then he turned quickly to his household, brought out a fatted calf, and placed it before them. He said, will you not eat? When they did not eat, he conceived a fear of them. They said, fear not. And they gave him glad tidings of a son endowed with knowledge. But his wife came forward, laughing aloud. She smote her forehead and said, a barren old woman? They said, even so, as thy Lord spoken, and he is full of wisdom and knowledge. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, at this time it's time to break the fast, brothers and sisters, inshallah. So may Allah bless all of those. A reminder, those of you who have your zakat, your annual zakat, and it is due before the Eid day, inshallah, try to get that into us. That's online as well as those people here. Also, those of you who have sadaqah, give sadaqah online, inshallah, on a day-by-day basis, so we can continue to bless the people with serving food to them. Also, a reminder to all of you, you can go to Cash App, you can go to $FirstCleveland. You can go to Cash App, $FirstCleveland. You can go to FirstClevelandLodge131@gmail.com. That's our Zelle. And you can write a check out to 3630 East 131st Street, Cleveland, Ohio 44120. That is our address. Or you can just come to the mosque and just give, inshallah. May Allah make it easy for you. Tomorrow we are starting our reading at 7:05, inshallah. 7:05, inshallah, we will start the reading of the Quran. May Allah bless you, and may Allah have mercy on all of us. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Assalamu alaikum.